Good day, everybody. I want to talk to you today about symbolism and allowing, signs that show up, animals that show up, different things that are symbolic to you that show up and how do you work with those? I personally have always related to working with animals and just the meanings underneath them, whether I dream about animals or whether I see them and they catch my eye, there's always something that's speaking to me. And I will say because I've a kind of established that this is a means that I will trust and that I want that kind of communication from the universe, I get it often. Now, I've had people question me sometimes and say, well, that that's the symbol for this particular thing, like squirrel in one of the books that I work with is the symbol of gathering. And so you know that. And so maybe, Sondra, aren't you just looking for those signs? And as a side note, I would say, well, why am I looking for those signs? If I'm looking for it, maybe that's my intuition calling me to be aware of something that innately I already know I need to be aware of. So there's that little thing. That's a rabbit hole we could dive down. But also, there is just the speaking of, there's a hawk that just flew right by. Um, there's also just this knowingness. I know the difference when my head is looking for something, when I'm trying to drive something, and when I'm receiving it and allowing it. There is definitely a difference. One of those easy for you to recognize is if you're not in a place. Just pay attention if you're not in a place and something catches your eye. Maybe don't dismiss it as just this random thing. Maybe take note and look up what is the nature of this animal, for example. So that's what I did the other day. There's a book that I often refer to that I just mentioned by Jamie Sams and David Carson. I think if you want to look it up, I love the way it's written. It's just long enough. It's just gives me just enough where I can scan it and see what jumps out at me. And that's how I utilize it. I don't take it as gospel. I just kind of relax and I read, and there's always one little nugget. No matter how many times I've read that particular animal before, there's one thing that I needed to hear or receive in that moment. But another way that you can utilize it, which I did the other day, I've had crows coming to me a lot lately. And the other day I'd had this dream and I went for a walk and there's this crow and he's just cawing at me. And mind you, I don't always pay attention. Again, that's my intuition saying, that. I need to do something with that. So I watched him for a little bit, and then I just had this impression. I said, "You know what? I want to look up the nature of the crow." And one of the things as I was reading and watching was a reminder that it's not just about the animal or the sign that you receive, but what's your experience in it? That's something to pay attention to also. So my experience in it at this moment, I was very aware of what the crow was doing. I was very aware that it was perched at the very top of this pine tree. And the pine tree was kind of swaying. So it was like this bird's eye view, right? And the ultimate of that, and how relaxed he was just swaying and just observing, not doing anything except for the random call out, the communication energy. So that spoke to me as well. And that combined with what I already know about Crow and with what's a few of the other things about the nature of Crow really spoke to me. It helped clarify the dream that I had a little bit. And it just gave me this sense of, okay, there's the breath I needed in that moment to continue to move forward with clarity. So I share that story with you so that maybe it gives you some ideas to utilize on your own so that you are aware that life is speaking to you. And the more you engage with those types of messages, the more the universe will utilize those messengers to speak to you. And just to remember the final piece is again, I said earlier, you don't have to take it for gospel. You don't have to look up the symbolism for something and say this is everything it means. Give yourself the opportunity to be really relaxed and say what stands out to me. Okay, let me work with that. Let me get involved in my day and just see how that unfolds. Okay, symbolism. 101. If you have any questions, feel free to put a comment in there with questions or with what stuck out to you, or maybe with a symbol that you've seen recently and what it meant to you. Love to get that feedback from you. As always, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell so you get the alerts about the videos that I drop. And if I can be of service to you in any way, let me know.